Very good evening to all of you. Once again, welcome to an evening with Srinivas from BYJU'S. Firstly, let me apologize for the 5-6 minutes delay, unexpected glitches. Well, we have sorted it out. Now we are fine, ready to go. Well, friends, so I have taken a session, something similar to this about a month back, if I am not mistaken, where I've discussed the strategies to prepare, what to do, how to do for the next few months for CAT retakers. So, and we had a lot of queries coming in from students. A lot of them wanted kind of a repeat and they wanted certain specific questions to be answered. So what I'm going to do today is take a list of all the questions that I've got over the last few weeks from the various students, and I'm going to answer them first. Then of course I'm going to continue with the strategy for repeaters. How should you go about plan your preparation for the next 7 to 8 months, right? So that's what we have in store. And of course, before we move on, first make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We have a lot of CAT 22 sessions coming your way. And if you like this session, please click on the like button as well as on the notification button, especially the like and notification buttons, guys, because the notification buttons will let you know the sessions that are coming in, the sessions that are in store for you, right? Well, so once again, let's start off. And before we start, please click on the like and the notification as well as on the subscription button. Right, so first few FAQs, that is frequently asked questions. These are the questions that have been asked to me. By the way, if you have any more questions, you can of course post it in the chat. I have the chat right in front of me. I can read it up and try to answer it to the best of my knowledge. Right, so one of the first questions that I get, and I'll take some time in explaining each one of these questions because I'm sure those of you who are attending this session, you guys have written CAT at least once. Hi Kanaya, Pranav, very good evening. So anyway, so the first question that I want to take up is this common question. Should I repeat or take the best college among what I have? Now let's look at it. So guys, all these questions, so in fact I have a set of these questions coming your way. I can tell you none of these questions are a straightforward yes or no. Okay, because the answer to it depends on many factors. So I will slowly take my time to explain this because this is one of the most important decisions in your life. Should you spend one more year or should you take what you have, the best of what you have? Okay, so let's start with this question. Now, let us say that you have a college which is ranked 12. You have a rank 12. Now let's not really stick to which college is ranked 12 or 11. I'm just saying in the range of 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that. You have a college which is ranked 15 and something like this. So the best college is ranked number 12. One of you might be having college ranked number 20. It doesn't matter. I'm just taking as an example. Some of you might have a college ranked number 6 or 7. Now the point is, should you repeat or should you join what you have? Now, if it is under top 10, we will come to that later. Some of you might feel that even college rank number 6 or 7 or 8 is not good enough for you. Some of you might feel that if you get into the top 10, that's my dream. So there are various types of people out there. So I don't want to mix everybody and say this is the answer. So let's first understand a broad rule. So whenever I give a rule, I will not give you something which is yes or no. I will tell you the method that you have to develop or the questions that you need to ask yourself and come to an answer. Okay, so that this framework, so what I'll build is a framework. It is not a yes or no, and this framework will be for anyone. So it's like a template. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what were your mock scores? When I say what were your mock scores, I'm not looking at entire last year mock scores. Usually when I say mock scores, I'm looking at the period where you've considered yourself to be ready. So that is typically in the month of September, October and November. So if you look at September, October and November, these 3 months on an average, what were your scores? So let's take an example. Somebody was getting 98 to 99 percentile consistently in these 3 mocks. Yeah, once in a while you had a bad day, or let's say you picked a fight with somebody, your parents or your girlfriend or your boyfriend for that matter, and you lost that mock. That's okay. I'm not talking about that. But in general, what has been your score? If you know your score has been 98 to 99 percentile, and you got something similar, you got a 98.1 or a 99.1, just above what you thought of or just below what you thought, which basically means your score is in line with what you are supposed to have got. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to ask. Okay, so let's take two cases here. Let me draw a diagram. So your mocks are in line with your actual CAT score. Your mock scores are in line with your actual CAT score, probably 0.1 here and there. That's okay. In such a case, the questions you need to ask is, did you put in your full effort? And are you satisfied with your effort? The reason why you need to ask this question is, if you've put in your full effort, you're satisfied saying that, look, I have done my best. So it means this is your best chance and you got what could be the best scenario. You don't take a decision hoping that in the future I'll be lucky and I'll get 0.5 percentile higher. You don't take a decision in life based on that. Right? So you have put in your full effort, you're happy with your effort, and you got what was in the range of what you're expecting, which means in such a case, you should take what you have, ideally. But if you say that your mock is equivalent to your CAT score, but you are not happy with your preparation, this also happens. So some of you would have started late for whatever reason. You could have started in the month of June or July. You didn't have enough time. So you could only reach up to the position of 98, 99, 98.5 percentile. Okay, or let's say 90 percentile for that matter. Whatever percentile it is, if you feel that you did not put in your 100%, you could have done better, you are not satisfied with the way you prepared, okay, then if you are not satisfied with the way that you prepared, then the next question, you are not happy, that's okay. But please don't say the answer is yes, I'll go and prepare. The next thing you need to ask yourself, again, as I said, it's a long mechanism, it's a framework. So there are too many ifs and buts and yeses and no's, ifs, if then else's, okay. Then the next question you need to ask yourself, well, I'm not happy, but do you have the motivation? Motivation, and for the entire year, or if not a year, for at least 7 to 8 months. So now I don't know you personally, right? Some of you have that, willpower saying that yes, I can do it. You can get up every day 1 hour early. You can sleep 1 hour late every day, thereby getting the 2 extra hours that you need per day, 2.5 extra hours that you need per day. To do this once again, all the things for the next 7 to 8 months. If you think you're able to do that, then in such a case you are not happy and yes, you want to do that, definitely you should go ahead and prepare once again. Okay, you should be in a position to do that once again. The only exception is if your work experience is greater than or equal to close to 4 years. If you are anywhere above 4 years, guys, 4 years people, 3.5 to 4 years range, I would recommend that writing 1 more year is actually a bit of a problem for you, because you will be getting into that 5-year mark, which is the danger zone. Okay, so IIMs might not want people who are quite old in terms of work experience. So unless you feel very, very strongly in that case, in fact, I would recommend that if you are in the 4 and above 4 years range as of today, which means by the time you apply, you'll be 4.5 to 5 years, right? So if that is the case, please make sure that you talk to your mentor once. You can reach out to us on our Telegram channel. I would take your query personally, right? Again, I would not say everybody above 4 years, don't write. Again, as I said, there is no such answer which is blanket for everyone. It's based on person to person. I need to understand your profile. I need to understand where you stand, which company are you in, how much of workload do you have. Again, the reason is there is a factor of fatigue also. Okay, you would have written 2 or 3 times, now you're writing it once again. So do you have enough motivation? I need to speak to you, talk to you, and then understand. So these set of people, please reach out to your mentors, but usually I say be very careful. I would not say don't write, but if you're writing, please understand that the things are not as easy as a person with 1 year, 2 years, or even 2.5 years of experience. Anyway, so coming back. So you're talking about people who got a mock score which is equivalent to your CAT score, or rather CAT score which is in line with your mock score. Now let's talk about the other type of people. Who are the other type of people? Let's say that you were getting a 95 percentile in your mocks consistently in the 2-3 months that I spoke about, and now you saw that your CAT score is greater than 95. It's a no-brainer. All things aside, you got more than what you were expecting. Right? So I would say go ahead and please take the college that you can get, unless you feel, once again, the same scenario exists. If you feel that you are not happy with your mocks and you could have got a 99 percentile. If you feel that if you put in more effort, you can get a 99 percentile, that's a different issue. But if you're consistently getting 95 for 2-3 months, you put in your full effort and you got slightly better than what you were expecting, 95, 96, 97, it means luck favored you. Do not try it once again. Take the best college you have, get into a college. Now that is the easier decision. Now what happens if you are getting less than your consistent mock scores? The logic remains the same. Did you put in the full effort? Firstly, yes, which means that CAT something went wrong on that day, right? So you had the potential of getting a 95 or a 98 or whatever average score you have been getting, but on the CAT day something went wrong. Let's not worry about what went wrong. We will do that later. But yeah, the fact is you did not get what you deserve. Now the question you need to ask is, do you have the energy? Once again, the same thing comes in. Do you have the energy, the determination, the motivation? Remember guys, just because you prepared last year does not mean that you are going to have a piece of cake in front of you just you can take and eat it. It's not that the CAT next year is going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be like that. You will have to put in an effort, yes, relative to a fresher who's starting off, fresher meaning first time CAT taker, who's starting off this year, you will have a little bit easy. I'll say little bit, but please don't relax. So your judgment will be based on putting in almost the same kind of an effort last year. Probably if you put in 100% effort last year, this year you can relax 10% of it, 90% effort, but still that's a huge amount of effort for the next 7 to 8 months. So if you feel that you have that motivation, that energy, then definitely please don't take up a college right now. Please go ahead and prepare for CAT once again. Okay, but in any of the scenarios that I've spoken, if you have a doubt, even a little bit of a doubt in your mind, will I be able to do this for the next 6 months or 7 months? That doubt, my friend, is first, that needs to be snubbed before you take it, decision on the next CAT writing. Because if you continue with your doubt, the doubt will only grow further and further in your mind and it will hamper your preparation. So first decide. Okay, it's a 7 to 8 month of investment you're doing. Please decide, make up your mind first, then start your preparation. Okay. Well, that's about should you repeat or take the best college among what I have. So this amount of discussion that I did just now, it will be useful in a lot of other questions that come your way. Okay, so there are a lot of questions that I'm going to talk about, but understand what I'm trying to explain. It's not just a scenario of yes or no. Irrespective of whether you've got the best score or you got more than what you deserved or you got less than what you deserved, one of the very important funda that you need to keep in mind is, do you have the motivation for the next 7 months, given that you already prepared once or twice earlier? Anyway, let's take a look at the next question that people ask. Now, this is a very common question. Sir, I prepared last year with my job. This year, I want to try hard. I want to quit my job. Should you quit your job? Should I quit my job? It's something which people ask. In fact, I'm happy if students ask this to me before quitting job. In the last 15 years of my life, trust me guys, I have come across so many students who first quit, come sit in front of me at the end of the preparation saying that, sir, I have left my job, I'm not sure what will happen in my CAT, now what can I do? And this they come and talk to me in the month of November first week. Now guys, understand, we are all mentors, we can help you. The point is, when you give me just before crashing the plane, ye lo pakad lo, aapke haath mein maine joystick de diya, then nothing much can be done, right? So when you're asking this question right now, should you quit your job? First thing is, once again, I'm talking about work experience. If you are anywhere between 1 to 3.5 years work experience, I would strictly say a big no. Okay, no matter how strict, how taxing your job is, I would say please don't quit your job. You will have to work at least 1.5 hours every day, and that's enough. You have already prepared once. Remember, you're not doing this for the first time. So you don't have to put in the kind of an effort like what a fresher does. You will have a 10-15% relaxation. If you prepared last year really well, a 20% relaxation also in terms of preparation. But again, it's not to be taken lightly. The point being, you should be in a position to pick up, while a fresher will need probably, or a first time CAT taker will need 2 to 2.5 hours per day. You could do well with 1.5 hours per day. That's enough. Okay, not more than that, 1 to 1.5 hours per day, every day, including a Saturday, Sunday with a more amount of an effort. Saturday, Sunday, probably 2-3 hours that you can prepare. That's more than enough. Okay, but you should be able to do that with and or along with your job. There are two big reasons. In fact, one big reason which I have seen students facing, problem rather, if you quit your job right now. So from the month of April, March is always almost over. From the month of April onwards to your CAT exam, and you'll just be waiting for your result. So that will be happening in the month of January. So you're looking at April to Jan, there is no job. Forget about the financial part of it. Let us say you get a interview call. It becomes very, very difficult for you to convince the interviewer why you could not manage your job as well as your preparation for CAT, especially when you're doing it for the second or third time. And this is a particular time frame that I'm talking about, 1 to 3.5 years. The reason why there's a different reason for above 3.5 years, guys. I'll tell you why this is. I'm categorizing them separately over here. So 1 to 3.5 years, 3 years, I would say, please don't quit your job. Now, when you're talking about people who are above 3.5 years, please remember this is the borderline case. Ideally, in my opinion, this should be the last attempt. If you are at a 3.5 year experience right now, if you don't crack this CAT in the month of November, you cannot, or you can ideally write the next year CAT, that is in 2023, but please remember by then you will start touching your 4.5 to 5 years range. So you will be one of the eldest people or elder people writing CAT, and that could be a problem for you in terms of getting selected into the IIMs. So ideally, if you are at this point, it is a last attempt for you. Mostly, I would say it is going to be the last attempt. There are, of course, exceptional cases where students got through even at a 5-year experience range. If you look at an IIM, you'll still have few people with 4.5, 5 years experience getting in. I'm not saying they won't be there, but if you see the percentage will be small. It's not going to be very large. So there's a reason for it. The IIMs don't take too many people in that range. So for all practical purposes, this is going to be your last attempt. And then if that is the case, it kind of makes sense. You made some money, I don't know how much, based on your work for the last 3.5 years. You have been slowly preparing for 3.5 years, it did not work out. You don't want to regret not giving a full shot once in your life. So it might make sense at this point in time, rather at least at this point, last attempt, it's a last attempt for me. After this, I will probably go for an executive program, not for a 2-year program. So I would probably want to give my 100% by shutting everything off, quitting my job. I have some savings, I will sit and prepare for the next 5-6 months. Again, should you quit your job right now? Probably not. Even if you want to quit, ideally it should be in the month of July, August, June, July probably is the ideal time, because you'll have August, September, October, 3 solid months to prepare. Please don't quit right now if you want to quit also. But there is an exception only for the people who are above 3.5 years of experience. Please keep this in mind, right? Yes, if some of you have further queries, you can post it here. Of course, you can reach out to us in our Telegram channel. I'll be there to help you guys out. Right, so this is as far as should you quit your job or not. My sincere advice, once again, to most of you who are under 3.5 years of work experience, 3 years especially, please guys, don't quit your job. Next. Now, this is a question. I already quit my job last year and couldn't make it. Now, what do I do? Well, it's like saying that I've crashed my car, now what do I do? First thing is, I will say, in such a case, is start searching for your job. Please don't spend another 8 months without a job. That's one of the worst things that can happen to you. Okay, immediately start searching for your job if you have not already thought about it. Get the idea out of your head that I will prepare for another 7 months without a job in my hand. Please search for a job, because even if you get a job by May end, you can work till next May. So you'll be able to work for 12 months. It's not a small time. You can make some money. You can be beneficial to the company also. It's not that you're spending only 2-3 months with the company. Almost a full year or 13 months you'll be able to spend, which is decent enough in my opinion. So don't worry about you becoming a burden on the company or you taking the company for a ride. Ideally, it is not. 12 months to 13 months is a decent enough time for you to be a part of a company. Especially if you show that you're getting a job, if you're getting a chance to get for higher education in the next 13 months, the company might also be okay to let you go. That's not at all a problem. Right? So please search for a job immediately and make sure that you get one by probably April end or May, mid. I don't know how easy it is right now to get a job. There are a lot of people quitting jobs here and there, so I keep hearing that there are a lot of offers flying around. So I am assuming that it should not take you too much of time to get a job, but yes, please be out there in the job market looking at it seriously. At the same time, continue your preparation. I don't think you can ever say that I'm spending my entire time for CAT, so I don't have time to look for a job. I don't think that's the case at all. So please make sure that you search your job and 2 to 3 hours you spend a day on your CAT. That's more than enough. Okay, so this is what is my advice for people. Do not go to CAT 22 exam without a job, or being jobless since last year May, June does not make sense. The next thing is, so this is, till now we have spoken about mostly people with work experience. Look at this, fresher with a job at hand, should I join? Some people have this question. They have written last year CAT when they were in the final year, or rather it didn't work out in the third year. The third year end or final year first semester they would have written. Probably you did not get what you want, so you want to retake the CAT right now, but you have a joining date or you just recently joined. So should I join or should I continue if you just recently joined? The answer you know by now, the answer is yes. Please don't quit your job. Please don't say that I want to prepare full-fledged. Friends, you have a job. If you can't handle a job and your preparation for the next 8 months, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to handle things as an MBA for the rest of your life. Get used to it, right? It's as simple as that. So first prove to yourself that you can take up this career. If you can't do two things, preparing and your job at the same time, trust me, the career you're aspiring to get into is a lot more difficult. Right? So first have the confidence you can do these two. Yes, you might fail the first year, you will get probably the second year. You also will have the advantage the next time. If you fail this year, is fail meaning if you cannot get into CAT 22, the world is not going to end. You will add one more year of experience and you apply next year, and this time you'll be having work experience weightage becoming a little bit more for you. Right? So it's always only on the positive side for you. Continue your work. Do not think of quitting. I'm very, very against quitting of jobs. Okay. Next, what colleges to target? Okay, now this becomes once again based on what your scores were. I would not say any college name over here. It purely depends upon, it's a function of your mocks. It's a function of your mocks. So once again, the same order goes. Last time, what happened in your month of October, September, October, November. What were your mock scores? Is that the best effort that you could put in? Do you think you could have done better? Do you think you wasted a lot of time last year and therefore this year you are serious and you're going to put in more effort? All that comes into consideration. Your consideration should be based on your mock scores only. Okay. Well, then the last question, can I join a college? This is an interesting question. Not many people ask, but I have been asked this question. And I have seen people doing this also. In fact, I had 1 or 2 students in my college when I did my MBA. By the way, I have done my MBA from IIM Indore. So there were 3-4 students who wrote CAT once again, but only 1 person could get into the top 3. See, there's no point jumping from Indore to Lucknow also, for that matter. While Lucknow is considered slightly better than Indore, spending 1 year of money in Indore, wasting that 1 year and then again going for 2 years of Lucknow doesn't make sense. It only makes sense if you probably get an Ahmedabad, Bangalore or a Calcutta. That too, it's questionable today. We can discuss that later. But yeah, so the answer is very clear. Can I join a college and write CAT again? The first thing is, will you have time? If you join any of the top 10 colleges, friends, you will have zero time to do this. I mean, you have to be God level motivated and sleeping something like only 5 hours a day for the next 1 year to complete your assignments and do your preparation. Because trust me, when I say this, if by chance you're putting in a bit more effort on CAT and you let go of your ACADS, let's say your ACADS in the first year is average, then you're dead in placements or summers. You have to do extremely good in your extracurricular activities to have some chance. Okay, if your ACADS are bad, my friends, your placements will go for a toss. Trust me on this, especially if you want to get into finance, consulting. Finance and consulting, if your scores are bad, very difficult. Marketing is still okay, HR, IT, they're still okay, but especially finance and consulting guys, scores are required. So then it means that you want to spend a lot of time on your ACADS also, as well as your time on CAT also without missing it out. Because if you don't write your mocks sufficiently, if you don't practice your LRDI, quant, or habit of reading, more importantly, your passages, you will miss out on your CAT. So yes, this is very, very dangerous question. I would ideally say if you are in the top 10 to 15 ranked colleges, please don't even think about it. Now, what about colleges which are in the range of 20 plus, where the rigor might not be as high? Well, again, I would not say yes, you can try, or no, you shouldn't. I would ideally say please reach out to your mentors. Okay, because even if you're in a college which is ranked 20, 25, I would not say that it's going to be easy for you to manage both, because the kind of work they're going to give you, my friends, first, remember, you are trying to do what a normal person in job learns over 5-6 years. All this they're going to capsule and give it to you, thrust down your throat literally for 2 years. So bulk of it will be happening in the first year. Which, if that is the case, imagine the amount of the quantum of information, knowledge which will be absorbed by you, or rather will be thrust down your throat for the first year. Given all that, will you have enough time to do that? I don't know. Right, Saurabh is asking, apart from IIMs, is there any other good colleges? Of course, Saurabh, there are a lot of good colleges. You have your FMS, XLRI, then you have your SP Jain. I mean, I can start listing these colleges. You have IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi. IIT Bombay is actually a very good college. Then you have NITI. And by the way, this is nothing according to ranks. I'm based on what I am remembering, I'm writing, but these are all excellent colleges. In fact, the list goes on. MDI, Gurgaon. I mean, if I keep writing, I'll be filling up the screen. So there are enough colleges where without the IIM tag also, so these are not the IIMs, you can still have an excellent career. Right? In fact, some of these colleges are better than some of the IIMs, for sure. So let's not worry about what is the ranking of these colleges. They are all, in fact, these colleges, I would say, if you get into it, JBIMS. Anush, thanks for pointing it out, JB. Now, usually I don't talk about JBIMS because through CAT, unless you get a 99.9%, 995 or something like this, you don't get an offer from JBIMS. JBIMS, again, that's what I'm saying. JBIMS, the problem is, while it has about 120 seats or 100 seats, only 15 seats are open for CAT students who are not from Maharashtra. Yes, IIFT is another very good college. As I said, Abhishek, it's not that I'm not saying IIFT is bad, it's just that I didn't write all the colleges. As I said, they're just examples. TAPME, again, TAPME is that good. TAPME is not in the same league as your IIFT or JBIMS or the list of colleges that I've written here. It's a good college, but not in the same league. You have NMIMS, you have SIBM, you have a lot of colleges. Anyway, so that's the answer to the question, which was about what are the other colleges apart from IIM. Anyway, coming back to Anush, how do you get into JBIMS? See, if you are having the domicile thing about Maharashtra, then JBIMS, you should be able to get in through MHCET, you should be able to write the exam and get through that. The problem with getting through it, getting for it through CAT, they keep only 15 seats, if I remember the number correctly, 12 or 15 seats only for All India Open category. The rest of them are reserved based on the state quota. So if you are not from Maharashtra and you want to get into JBIMS, then the problem with your CAT score is you have to get a 99.9596 level percentiles. Siddharaj, I will talk about it. Definitely I'll talk about the CAT preparation. Just hold on. We'll continue in the flow. I have a preparation strategy for you guys. Okay, so guys, these are the questions that were asked. Thankfully, I've been able to answer all of them. Okay, there's one more question that comes over here. I have some of the top 10 colleges but not satisfied. Should I try again? Guys, as I said, this is again a very, very, very niche question. Not many students ask this. Let's say how many students actually say that, okay, I've got an IIM code, but I'm not really happy. Should I go for an ABC? Once again, I say, if you are anywhere between 1 year and 2 years of work experience, anywhere in this range, you're not in the borderline case of work experience, and you have been consistently getting a 99 plus percentile in your mocks. Right? So you have been consistently getting a 99 plus percentile in your mocks, but for some reason, your CAT performance was bad and you ended up with a 98.8 or a 98.7. You are expecting a 99.5 in this region. I mean, you're expecting that kind of a score, but you fell short by almost 1 percentile. In such case, especially keeping in mind that you are only 1 to 2 years work experience, I would say probably yes, you can give it a try. But if you feel that getting the top 10 is if you're genuinely feeling that okay, this is something which I can do better, only then go for this. Okay, it's very dangerous to leave the top 10 colleges and hope to get into only the top 3. Okay, top 10 I'm talking about 5 plus. Anything below 5, please guys, don't leave it, take it up. While I understand some of you have the craze for A or B or C, I would say any in the top 5, 6 colleges, please take it up. Okay. Anyway, so these are the colleges, or rather these are the questions. Let's take up the next thing. Okay, so first let's take a look at the good points. There are 2 advantages for you. Feel good about it. You're almost ready. When I say almost ready, in terms of theory. Yes, of course, there will be some areas which you did not prepare last time. Not much of preparation has happened on that particular area. But yeah, it will not take too much of time this year to cover it up. So I would ideally say about 80-85% of the syllabus is done for you. Probably done thoroughly also. Knowingly, you left 10-15% this year. So you're almost ready. But I would not say you will be in a position to go and write directly. Okay, if that was the case, you would have done it last year itself. You would have cracked it last year itself. Anyway. But the biggest problem, which actually it's an advantage, but it could actually, in my opinion, be a drawback for some of you, is you need to keep the momentum going. Now, this is the problem with students who know that they were good last year, but you missed out. There is some kind of, a feeling which says, yeah, I did it last year, I just missed out. Oh, I will do it this year also. The confidence is good, but have the confidence with the preparation coming along. If you just have the confidence and you are like that hare in the tortoise, the hare which is, hare knows it can win, provided it does not lax off. If you sleep under a tree thinking that I can beat the tortoise at any point in time, my friends, we have learned the lesson in the story, and I've seen that story repeat year after year. So please don't be the hare over there that sleeps. Yes, you can be a hare that runs and wins the race. Right? So yes, if you are a repeater, you're preparing CAT for the second or third time, you are ready. Yes, good, feel happy about it, but with caution. Please don't get into that overconfidence mode saying that I can just start in the month of October and be done with it. I don't think that is good enough, because every year there are going to be people who are able to get that 99 percentile in mocks by the time you reach your September, October. So it's not that there's a place reserved for you. You have to fight with that new blood, new group which is forming over there. You have to, make yourself ready. And especially because you're a person who want to get more than what you got last time. Your benchmark is already quite high. If your benchmark is quite high, you have to make sure that your performance in this CAT, because you have spent 1 more year preparing, cannot be the same level. It cannot be even 0.1 or 0.2 better than this. It has to be a significant chunk higher than this. Otherwise, your 1 year of preparation is of no use, or it does not justify preparing. So let's say you got a 97 last year, you're not happy. You prepared and you got a 97.3. Does it really matter? What did you achieve? You will be getting the same set of colleges more or less. Probably 1 college extra, but I don't know if that will matter. So unless this 97 goes to a 99 plus, it's a problem for you. At least 98.5 plus. At least at 98.5, barely you'll be able to get your FMS, one of the top colleges. But yeah, that's the whole idea is it has to be a significant jump. And that, guys, remember, if you're talking about the last 1 to 2 percentile, you are talking about the best students who are serious. So the competition there, it's like, very thick crowd. You have to push yourself through to reach the, to reach the front. That's how it's going to be. It's not that there is a, highway readily waiting for you with no traffic in it. Okay, so please don't think of it like that. Right, so that's as far as your advantages go. So now let's start talking about the preparation plan. Siddharth, Siddharaj, Nate, now this is where the preparation plan comes in for you guys. Let's take a look at how should you go about. I'm dividing the preparation plan into 3 parts. The first part ideally is April to July. In fact, it should have been from March, but March is already over. So I'm talking about from April to July. Then the second part will be August and September. And the last part will be October and some part of your November, because November last Sunday is when the exam will be there, so you'll not be having the entire month anyway, right? So let's take a look at what happens in this phase 1. The first thing you need to look at is identify what went wrong last time. Why did you not get what you wanted? It could be that the answer could be simply that, yeah, that day I had a headache, or I just recovered from COVID, I could not focus, whatever is the reason. Or it could be that my LRDI I was not so good, so maths I'm really good at, but because my LRDI was not good, I ended up messing my maths. Whatever is the reason, first identify. It could be as simple as, look, I did not put in the effort, so I did not get the answer. I mean, it could be anything. First, understand why you are preparing for the second time, why you could not do it last time. Get that into your head. Accept it honestly. First, if you accept what is a flaw in you, you can start correcting it. Okay? Second thing, start with your weak areas that are already identified. See, last year, if you prepared well for your CAT, you would have left some areas. As I said, you are 80, what type of work experience should require for CAT exam? Akash, type of work experience does not matter. It is only the quantity that matters. It is not the quality. Okay, quality does not matter as far as CAT is concerned. It is the quantity that matters, especially to get the call. So did you work for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? That number matters in terms of months. Okay, is it 12 months? Is it 24 months? Is it 36 months? Is it 48 months? That's what matters. It does not matter whether you're working in a startup, whether you're a founder of it, whether you've been, did you work for 3 years and sell your startup for, crores of rupees? In that case, you'll anyway not be looking at CAT. But anyway, just saying. Or you've been just a coder doing nothing, sitting on bench for the last 1.5 years. It doesn't really matter. Okay, Akash, does that help you? Does it mean that a IT guy will be preferred more? Definitely not. If you are from marketing background or a teaching background or a coding background, it doesn't matter. Banking background, all backgrounds are same. Right? Only that matters is quantity here. Okay, so IIMs do not give extra weight for a bit, but people of particular company or particular domain. It's a particular job profile. Job profile has no value as far as your calls go. Once you get the calls, based on the interview performance could be different based on the work you have been doing. But as far as your calls go, which is what we're talking about, getting the call, which is the first thing, it does not matter where you worked and what role you performed. Okay, Akash, I hope that answers your question. Anyway, so coming back to this, start with your weak areas that are already identified. So guys, if you look at, I'm a quant faculty, I teach LRDI. So, if I take an example of quant, let us say I hate geometry. Okay, last time when I prepared, I knowingly left geometry saying that, okay, 2 to 3 questions come in geometry. I prepared my arithmetic, I prepared my algebra, I prepared my modern math. I left out geometry knowing that 3 questions will come. This year, you cannot go to an exam saying that I will leave geometry also, because you have enough time. And you already got a decent score. You want to get at least +2 or 3 percentile higher than this. If you are in the top range. If you are something like a 90 percentile, you have to push this at least to a 97 or 98 percentile. If you are somebody who got a 70 or an 80 because you did not prepare at all last year, this jump has to be a lot more. How do you get this jump? Not by sticking to what you did last time. That is not sufficient. So this year you have to go to an exam at least by preparing. You cannot say that there is any topic left out for you. You might not be perfect at it, but make sure that you don't go to the exam saying that, okay, I don't know anything about this topic. At least every topic, the preparation should be in such a way that every topic you should at least be in a position to answer easy and moderate questions. Okay, these level of questions may not be difficult questions, you might not be able to answer, that's okay. Some moderate you might not be able to answer, okay, but broadly easy questions you should be in a position to do even for your weak areas. Some moderate questions you should be able to do for your weak areas. So typically there should not be any weak area for you anymore. There should be either okay, average area or good areas. There's no more weaknesses for you because you're going to push all your weak areas where even easy questions you used to falter to a higher level. That's your first goal. Okay. The second thing you need to keep in mind is, so that's what, get your weak areas into an okay or an average. So that's what I'm talking about. No more weaknesses. And split your time in the 2:1 ratio. So focus more for the first few months, focus more on these weak areas, pushing them into the above average level of your comfort. And I'm not saying leave the good areas. I'm not saying don't prepare. But yeah, if you're preparing 1 hour on, let's say 1 hour is too much in a day only for one topic. Let's say you spend 30 minutes on your strong area on one subject today, then spend at least 1 hour on your weak area today. If you spend 45 minutes here, spend at least 90 minutes here. So 1:2:1 ratio. Okay, so at least initially this amount of effort is required for you to convert all your weak areas into at least acceptable, okay, or above level for you. Okay, so spend your time on this. While I understand it's difficult, the reason why you left last year is because you don't like the topic mostly, or you didn't understand the topic. So I understand it's difficult, but you have to do that. Okay, the next thing is plan your week correctly, my friends, because you're all working. And as I said, especially when I mentioned that most of you should not quit your job, which means your week, the planning for the week, the day, every day has to be done correctly. Okay, so if you know your workload is going to be so much tomorrow morning, where are you going to get that 1.5 hour, 2 hours to prepare from? Ask yourself. Ideally, I would always recommend get up 1.5 hour early in the morning. Early morning preparation, in my opinion, is the best. While some of you have this habit of staying up late at night, if you ask me, should you stay up late at night versus getting up early? Well, staying up late is easy, but getting up early is hard. And usually the things which are good for you are difficult to do in life. So getting up is hard, but that is where you get the maximum value. Okay, nothing in life is easy and good for you, right? I mean, you can take any number of examples. So this is one thing which I truly believe in. You want to study, you want to have effective study, that 1.5 hours should be really effective for you. Get up in the morning. 5:36 is enough. I'm not saying get up at 4. 6 o'clock you get up, finish off your daily work, morning jobs. If you go for a jog, that's fine. Go for a jog, get fresh, take bath, then sit from 7:30 to 8:30 before you leave for your office. At least that 1 hour of study is required. Okay. Focus only on moderate and hard questions, especially for your the strong areas. Don't waste your time doing easy level questions again. Whichever institute, especially if you're looking at BYJU'S exam prep, you will have the questions categorized as easy, moderate and difficult. Easy questions from your favorite subjects or your strength areas is not for you anymore. Don't waste your time doing that. Straight away get into your moderate and focus on hard questions also. Right? And the next thing is no relaxing on weekends. I'm not saying that you have to slog through your weekends. The whole idea is please don't let that weekend mood get to you. Weekend you'll still get up, probably not at 6 o'clock, you can get up at 7 or 8, but nothing of your weekend should get done without that 1.5 hour of study in the morning. You can increase that 1.5 hour to probably 2 hours. I understand that you might want to go to a movie or a party, but nobody's going to go to a movie at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning or party at 7 o'clock in the morning. So Saturday, Sunday, make sure that the first thing you do, have a breakfast, take bath, study for that extra 1 hour compared to a daily basis. Daily 1.5 hours, Saturday, Sunday spend 2.5 hours or 3 hours for that matter. After that, feel free to do whatever you want. You need to have a life too, right? But not at the expense of your preparation. Okay, so it's the way I look at it is, yes, I have earned the right to do this today. So you'll feel happy if you have studied for 2.5 hours, you will not feel guilty for enjoying the rest of the day. So that's how your preparation needs to be. So what do we do section wise? So I've just given you a basic gyan, but now let's take a look at what needs to be done in every section. Let's start with verbal. Verbal daily. So this is one section where I say daily 1 hour of reading is required. When I say 1 hour of reading, guys, I'm not counting this 1 hour as a part of your preparation of 1.5 hour that I spoke about just now. This 1 hour could be done, it could be reading of paper, it could be reading of a book, it could be reading of magazine, whatever it is, but reading. Do not count this as preparation saying that, look, I read for 1 hour of newspaper, now I'll study only half an hour, so my 1.5 hour of preparation today is done. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, so please make sure that this is not a part of your core preparation. This has to become a habit. Okay, pick up a paper, you pick up a magazine, you pick up a novel, whatever else is interesting to you, get the continue flow of reading happening. Okay, then do 2 RC passages a day. Now this could be a part of your preparation. If you're doing English, 2 RC passages, probably about 20 minutes is more than enough for you. 10 minutes per passage is actually too high, but that's okay. Take 20 minutes, do 2 passages, spend next 10 minutes in trying to see whether you got it right, where you made the mistake, and understand what your mistakes were, if there were any mistakes. Okay, Hi Saurabh. Yes, very nice talking to you, and thank you for attending the session. By the way, guys, once again a reminder: please subscribe to the channel, click on the like button as well as on the notification button. We have a lot of videos coming your way for your CAT 2022 preparation. Anyway, so that's fine. Do not worry about your para-jumbles, odd para-jumbles, para-completions right now. Okay, in the first few months. That is your months. When I say last 2 months, this is not your October, November. What I meant is this is for April to June, correct? Last 2 months, that is July. So this is July. So June, July. This is where you need to start looking at your para-jumbles, para-completion and odd para-jumbles. The reason is quite simple. If you have a very good grasp on your RCs, these are going to become a piece of cake. Now, you might get a low score a little bit because of not preparing in your mocks. That's okay. Anyway, you'll not be writing too many mocks. I'll speak about mocks. But in the first 3 months, April, May, you'll not be writing too many mocks. You might at best write 2 or 3 mocks. Or at best 4 mocks. That's okay. But the month of June, July, you'll start preparing. So you'll be writing slowly. The mock quantity will keep increasing. And July, August, September, the mock quantity will be quite high. So by the time you get to the higher quantity of writing mocks per month, you will be having your para-jumbles, para-completion and OPJs ready with you. But firstly, I would say focus on your RCs. Okay? Because you don't have, see, if you have enough time, you can do everything. The reason I'm saying don't focus on them right now is because you don't have enough time to do this, then LRDI and quant and your work. I'm trying to, manage all of them within a given amount of time. Okay, and ensure that the reading is varied. So while I understand that you like to read a book, do not pick up only one type of books. So if you read a fiction today, please try to read a non-fiction the next time. Or you continue to read fiction, then please at least add half an hour of newspaper or a magazine. Please don't stick to only something which is interesting to you. Yes, interesting is good because it will keep your habit of reading. But if you only stick to the interesting part, then the problem that you'll face is the RC passages are not going to be so interesting. So when a passage comes talking about philosophy, you will start looking at yawning and then saying, why am I doing this? So the passage will talk about why are you living? You will start looking at, okay, why am I reading? But that's not what you want, right? Your habit of reading should help you understand and solve a passage. So while the habit is good, get used to the boring passages also. Okay, so please don't read only the interesting things. Start with it, but slowly migrate to things which are not so interesting also. Okay. Write one sectional test a week, one sectional test, not the full length mock, 1 week. So you can write one 40-minute exam every week for your verbal. Okay. Now take a topic test at a regular interval. So let's say that you have read passages, or rather you have been reading philosophy book. Take up passages which are based on philosophy on that weekend, or probably 1 or 2 topic tests. If there's nothing related to what you're reading also, that's fine. Just keep writing regularly. Regularly means today you wrote a topic test, take 1 or 2 days gap, another topic test. So 2 to 3 topic tests every week. So if you're doing a passage, 2 passages, then don't write a topic test. If you're writing a topic test, then don't do your 2 RC passages. So manage it. So the whole idea is something around 1 hour of your entire preparation for reading, which is not a part of your general counting, and probably around 45 minutes in this. That's what you're going to do every day, 45 to 50 minutes depending upon your timeline. Okay, or probably 45 minutes to 1 hour. Please don't count this reading as your general preparation. It's not a part of your preparation. Okay, well, that's as far as your English go. For LRDI, by the time you finish your this first phase that I'm talking about, your all standard graph and tables should be completed, once again revised. So all your moderate level questions from your from your material that you have, all your hard level questions from this, you should have finished this without fail. Okay, by the end of that month of July, you should finish all of them. All standard LR topics also have to be completed. So basically DILR, at least standard topics you're going to finish. You cannot say that, okay, I did not come across this particular standard topic. When I say standard topic, I'm not talking about some new question that I'm creating. Your bar charts, pie charts, spider graphs, your scatter plots, all of this. When you talk about logical reasoning, games and tournaments, knockout tournaments, round robin league, arrangements, seating arrangements, circular arrangement, your other topics like missing data, all of this type of questions. I mean, the list goes on. All of this, the standard ones, you should have completed. Okay. And here, this is interesting. I want you to spend 1.5 hours, but not every day here. English reading should be done every day. And English every day, probably 45 minutes to 1 hour. The second thing should be alternate days, 1.5 hours of LR and DI. I'll speak a little bit about this in the next slide. Okay. So keep this aside. I'll explain what I mean. 2 sectional tests a week, 1 for LR, 1 for DI. Okay, so write 2 sectional tests in a week, 1 LR and 1 DI, again 40 minutes each. Once again, topic tests after completion of every topic. If you have revised bar charts, write topic tests on bar charts. If you revised arrangements, write topic tests on arrangements. That has to go without saying. Last part is quant. Now, in quant, by the time you finish this first phase, your arithmetic and algebra should be completed. It's a must. Guys, these 2 topics are non-negotiable. Especially for somebody who's repeating CAT, repeating for the second time or the third time, you cannot go to CAT saying that I did not prepare these 2 topics. It's a must. Every one of these topics you have to prepare. Okay. Geometry and numbers should be next, depending upon how soon or how slow you are in your completion of this topic. Your geometry and numbers should be next in line. Okay. Every alternate day, again 1.5 hours. So I will explain what is the meaning of daily, then alternate and alternate. I have that very neatly mentioned in the next slide. Once again, this is same 1 sectional test per day, per week, and topic test after completion of every topic. Okay. So I think you'll be able to see this now. I'm moving a little bit to the side over here. So 1 sectional test a week and topic test after completion of every topic. Okay. This is what you need to plan. Now, what I meant in terms of preparation, alternate days is like this. So, English, if you notice, will be there every day. So, this is without your reading of 1 hour. This is not the reading of 1 hour. This is your preparation of English of 1 hour. Then, you will have LR, DI 1 to 1.5 hour. 1 to 1.5 hour. So, one day you do LR, not DI. Then, the next day you do quant. English will be there every day. Then, do DI this time. Then, go back to. So this is your cycle, LR, quant, DI. This is your cycle. Then start with LR, then quant, then DI. So every 3 days you will be getting your quant twice, your DI will be twice, and your LR will be twice. Okay, if you feel that your LR and DI you are slightly better than your quant, or if your quant is weak, well, you try to make it one of these LR or DI depending upon where you are better at. Cut that out and put your quant into it. This is just an example of how the alternate days will work. And do not club your LR and DI. Separately look at the basic tests, basic topics in each one of them without missing out. Okay, that's your hygiene factor. You have to have at least solved the basics there without fail. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the mid game, which is basically your August and September. Now focus here on mocks. Anyway, the mocks you'll be writing your mocks from May onwards or April mid onwards. So April you can write 1 or 2 mocks. May you will be writing probably again 2 mocks ideally. June you will probably write 3 mocks. July go for 3 mocks. So this is how your preparation should be in terms of mocks. But in the month of August and September you will be looking at 4 to 5 mocks per month. Okay, so these 2 months you'll be looking at minimum 8. Around 10 mocks maximum, 10 to 11 mocks maximum. Don't overdo it, don't go beyond 10 ideally. So 8 to 10 is your target to finish your mocks. Every week you should be looking at 1 mock. Okay. Now this is where you need to experiment. Here also you can experiment. So what is the experiment all about? So figure out what kind of so I'll take an LRDI example. Now there are 2 ways in which I would ideally attempt the paper. There are many other ways, but I'm just giving you what figuring out or what is the experiment I'm talking about. LRDI in my opinion can be done in 2 ways. One structure is you basically can read it. So it depends on the kind of person you are. So you can basically read and understand whether the set is doable or not doable. If you have that idea, if you can figure that out, then yes, you can ideally pick perfect sets. But who can do this? Only the people who have the ability to read, understand, first of all, what is happening, then judge whether is it my cup of tea or not. See, understanding does not mean that you'll be able to do. Right? So, understanding and then being able to relate to yourself. Am I capable of doing this level of question? If not, I will leave it. So, people who can do this analysis in the exam, should be looking at picking the perfect set. So you'll pick 2-3 sets based on, you'll read first set, you say, okay, it's difficult, you'll move on to the next set. Fine, let me, it looks easy, doable. I've done something similar to this, so you'll sit and do this. You have done this, you've got 3 answers, 4th answer you did not get, that's fine, move on to the next set. So basically that way, you will not be randomly picking whatever comes your way. You'll just read, understand. If it looks doable, you'll do it. Okay? Whereas the second approach, this is for people who are not sure what is doable, what is not doable. Okay, you haven't reached that level yet, or you are not that kind of a person who is very sure about, yes, I can do this, or no, I can't do this. Then you basically spend 6 to 7 minutes per set anyway. And by 5 minutes, if you did not get the logic behind the set, you will quit. So 5 to 6 minutes you are spending on every set, please keep in mind. And you are going to go through 4 to 5 sets. 4 sets is what happened last year. I'm expecting if it is the same paper, you'll be getting 4 sets again. So you don't mind spending 6 to 7 minutes per set. And by the 5-minute mark, I'm not saying you should get the answer, but that logic which is to be used should be striking you. You should know after 5 minutes, if you don't know what to do, you are just still searching, then you leave the set, you can come back to it if everything else is like that. But it means that you have hit a rock wall. It could be a rock wall that cannot be broken. It could be a rock wall that could be broken. But this is not the right time for you to test it out. Leave that page, go on to the next set and see what happens. So this kind of a person will try to look at all the sets and actually not just look, try to attempt all of them. The only thing is, yeah, you should not be spending too much of time. You can spend 6 minutes, 7 minutes per set, see, and then decide, should I spend another 5 minutes on this or not? The next 4 or 5 minutes that you're going to spend depends on where you have reached in the first 5 minutes. Okay, ideally 6 or 7 also I would not recommend. First 5 minutes you have to decide. Like in your quant, if you can't decide in the first 45 seconds, then you leave it, right? So here I would say 5 minutes, think, read, understand, write down some steps, see if you can figure out the next steps. You're getting some logic. Can you see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is not a train coming your way? Right? If you have that confidence, you will go for the extra 5 minutes. Otherwise, you'll leave this and you'll move on to the next set. So these are the 2 ways. Now you have to figure out what kind of a student you are. That is where the experiment goes. Similarly for maths. Now, if you ask me how do I attempt maths, I will take first question, solve it, second question, solve it, third question, solve it. The way I look at it is I spend about a minute per question and I don't have time to come back to them. So 1.5 minutes, I'll not be left with time by the time I reach the end of the paper. I always reach the end of the paper, but when I reach the end, I'm more or less done. So I know I've spent time on all the questions. That's my approach. But there are enough students who do it in a different way. So students take it in round 1 and round 2. So ideally they spend about 25 to 30 minutes in picking the topic of their choice. They will only attempt in the first 25 minutes the topics of their choice, and then in the last 15 to 20 minutes, they will once again go through, so not 10 to 15 minutes. The last 10 to 15 minutes, they'll spend time in the questions that they left out. They'll pick what are their average areas. Definitely they will not touch their difficult areas, but they will try to see, okay, is this question doable? I'm not so great at it, but I'm not so weak at it also. Those kind of topics, they'll try to pick up in the last 10 minutes. Right, so again, which one works for you? What kind of a student are you? Experiment, find out. You have tried it last year also. If you already got the idea, that's fine. But try it out once again to see what if you change the strategy, will it help you or not? You have enough time to play around. Okay, so all this you should be doing in the month of April, May, June, July. In fact, all of this time that you're writing mock, experiment. Don't worry. Okay, and yes, 4 to 5 mocks a month is a must. This is your mid game. Okay. When you're talking about section-wise plan, well, this is what happens. More or less it's the same. Daily 1 hour, this continues. The English, in fact, you can see most of it is similar, but 10 questions a day on VR. So now, instead of 2 RC passages, you can alter between RC passages and 10 questions of verbal reasoning. Because now we are also getting into para jumbles, para completion. So you're going to take the questions based on that, the topic test based on that also. Okay. Again, when you're reading, that 1 hour of reading which I spoke about, make sure that it is not monotonous. One sectional test continues, topic test at regular intervals continue. So the preparation here more or less is the same. Only thing is you're going to sometimes alternately you can replace RC passages with your verbal logic, or rather verbal reasoning kind of questions. LRDI, now get into combo graphs. because you have done with single graphs, now try to take, in fact, because you're repeating, I would not say wait till August also for this. From the month of June, July, you can probably, July also you can start off with combo based questions where you're looking at more than one kind of graph. You have a pie chart, you have a scatter plot, probably a pie chart and a spider graph, whatever. There could be various combinations, so try to get into those kind of questions. And there are, more importantly, questions which are DI and logic combined set. So it is not purely DI, not purely logic anymore. You're going to look at combination of both. That is how most of the questions today in CAT are. Pure DI questions or pure logic questions are not existent today. Yes, one odd set they get, but most of the questions, if you classify them, it's not hardcore DI or purely LR, it's a mixture of them both. So those are the kind of questions you're going to get into, especially where you get them. If you don't have enough sources, usually when you join any institute, especially if you join BYJU'S, we have enough content that can give you these kind of questions. But any place that you are from, they should be having such questions. But most importantly, if you have exhausted that content, or if you are not, if you're finding them not good enough, straight away go back to your CAT last 5 to 6 years. CAT 2016 onwards, I believe the papers are available, and 16, 17, 18, 19. There are 2 slots per day or 3 slots per day for CAT. So you have sufficient questions in front of you. Pick them up and start solving every day. Okay. Of course, this continues as 2 topic tests, and topic tests, 2 sectional tests and 3 topic tests a week should continue for you. And finally, for your quant, when you're talking about quant, finish your modern math, because you already finished. If geometry is not fully done, then continue with your geometry, because if you remember, we spoke about arithmetic and algebra. Okay. Then we said take up your geometry and number theory. If this is completed, then continue with your modern math. If this is not completed, continue with this and then move on to modern math. So that's the whole idea. Once again, two sectional tests increase. It was 1 sectional test, increase it to 2, and topic tests every alternate day. You have to now, so this entire thing, this month of August and September is the one where you're going to put in the maximum effort. Okay. Then you'll be moving on to the last phase, that is the end game. So there's no more experimentation on your strategy. Your strategy is finalized. You will not move away from it. Okay. Repeat the same thing again and again. It's like, you learned how to bowl a yorker, but it is not perfect every time. You're going to practice it again and again. You don't suddenly say that I will become a spinner. You're a fast bowler. You are going to bowl fast. So you're going to do the same thing again and again till you perfect it. Right. So the figuring out phase is over. Now this is no more confusion. Whatever you figured out, stick to it, repeat it, perfect it. Okay. Focus now. Here there's no more weak areas anyway, but focus on the areas. Even when there are no weak areas, don't worry too much about the average areas. Also make sure that you are focusing on your strengths. Okay. There are no more weak areas, but by chance if anything is left out, this is not the time for you to pick them up. By chance you did not have time to, let's say, prepare modern math. This is not the time. The last month, October, is not the time for you to pick up modern math unless everything else is sorted. See, there are always exceptional cases are there. You finished everything, well, you have nothing else left to do, pick up modern math. But ideally, I'm saying when you have so much going your way, do not waste your time on a new topic, especially if it is something which will have 1 or 2 questions only coming your way. Okay, and of course 5 to 6 mocks, increase the mocks probably to 5. But again, 6 you may or may not write. Probably 1 month you write 6, the other month you write 4 or 5. That's okay. But at least average should be 10. Okay, 10 to 11 is your average for the sorry, overall not 10. So my bad. November, please don't write too many mocks. So write about 4 mocks in your 3 to 4 mocks in your October, and probably 2 mocks in the month of November. Ideally 3 to 4 days or 5 days before your exam CAT, do not write any mocks. You can probably look at 2 to 3. So let's say 3 to 4 and 3. So this is your October and this is your November. So you're looking at 6 to 7 mocks. That's fine. 6 to 7 mocks in these 2 months is fine. 8 is also fine if you're pushing yourself a little bit more on November, but please make sure 3 to 4 days before your actual CAT, don't take any more mocks. Okay. Yes, sectional test you can take, topic test you can take, but not a full length mock. Okay, so that's what I have. Right, so section-wise plan, so that's again kind of similar, so I'll very quickly go through all of them. 30 minutes reading per day, because you've got a lot on your plate right now. You can't afford to spend 1 hour reading on top of everything else, so cut down the reading, which is not counted as a part of your preparation, to only 30 minutes. Increase your number of RCs and your questions. Okay, so this, whatever you're cutting down, increase that in terms of your RCs as well as your verbal reasoning. Okay, and continue doing your one sectional test a day. When it comes to LRDI, every mock set must be solved including previous mock. So you would have exhausted by now all the CAT questions of the previous years. By now you would have exhausted the material that any institute would have provided you. So what do you do here? If material is not exhausted, that's fine, you'll continue with it. But if you have exhausted, then start working on your mocks. Every mock that you have written by now, you would have written at least 17, 16 mocks. Every mock, every set, whether you have done it or not done it, pick them up, start working on it. Okay, even the mocks that you have cracked, even the sets that you have cracked, please pick them up again and make sure that you are solving them once again. 3 to 4 sectional tests a week, because you are looking at 2 LR and 2 DI or combined, that's fine. 3 to 4 sectional tests. Quant, arithmetic, algebra, geometry to be highly focused. You can't focus everything on a daily basis, so alternate, you can cycle them. But these 3 are the most important areas. And yes, once in a while you can throw it in place of geometry, you can probably throw in a modern math. But make sure that arithmetic and algebra every alternate day you are working on. Do not let go of these 2 topics. Geometry and modern math can be altered. So 2 sectional tests a week and topic tests on a daily basis. At least 1 topic test of 15 minutes you have to take per day for your math, right? So friends, that's what I have in store for you as far as your preparation is concerned. I hope you have been able to answer a lot of your queries. It's been a long session. Thank you for being there for this long, and I hope I have been able to answer all your queries. I am there on Telegram. Please click on the link which has been given there for Telegram. We can solve all your queries on Telegram also. Thank you friends, and see you in the next session.